Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and let me tell you what, the last 24 hours, the drama, and by the way, I'm sitting in my truck. I am at a travel baseball tournament for my youngest, and actually I think they just started game 2. They won game 1, and then I think there's going to be a game 3. So I jumped in the car to see if I could record this video real quick. But there's so much drama going off with Steven Narioff and the whole ETHgate thing. This video is pretty much going to be me showing you some of the things he said the last 24 hours. We've been waiting on any kind of real answers for all these years, and some of the things that he's saying, I'm like, wow. So please pray for Steven Narioff. He seems to have he and his lawyer seem to have planned this out from what he's saying on Twitter. So, but I have not talked to Steven Narioff, but from reading between the lines, it looks like John Deaton is in communication. So I'm going to show you some of the things that have been said that blew my mind. Several of them did. But first I want to start with this. John Deaton says he agrees with this Joe guy. October is going to be nuts, and I can't wait for it. And he's got a Bitcoin, hashtag Bitcoin. We shall see. Now, look at this one. This guy says, to see the conspiracy unfold is sad but amazing. Steven Narioff, do you know what the paper in Lubin's back pocket he bragged about was all about? And he says, yes, he is smug about something I got for them that was for defense, not to bludgeon the crypto for their own monopoly. In other words, it was for their defense, not to use to bludgeon the crypto, the rest of crypto, I guess, for their own monopolistic goals. It won't help them due to their own actions. It will be revealed in time. And he's got a hashtag Crooked Joe. So he's literally calling Joseph Lubin crooked. Now, I don't think you say something. I think this guy's an attorney too. I don't think you say something, and I certainly don't think your attorney lets you say something unless you have proof. And then there was this. So I had put out this tweet. Since Joseph Lubin and Mike Novogratz are friends, do you have any information that would shed light on this clip? Poor Steven, I was asking him all kinds of questions yesterday. He says, never had an issue with Novogratz personally, but makes you wonder why someone would react like this to my arrest on charges I proved were fabricated. Nobody who was laughing has said a word since I got my case dismissed. And what this is, Novogratz blocked me a long time ago. What this is, Novogratz was laughing about, he did the laughing emoji with tears, at Steven Narioff getting in trouble. And then he says here, don't know why he would have an issue with me. I've only been supportive of Novogratz and Galaxy. It's my understanding that he purchased a large block of Ether after the crowd sale when Ethereum was running out of money. I was not involved, and I don't think he did anything wrong as a purchaser, but kind of looks like Torah's institutional sales. And we've said this on this channel before. If Mike Novogratz was buying this from the Ethereum Foundation, the Ripple ruling would directly mean that that was a security purchase, is the way I read it. Then he said this. Look at this. Vitalik Buterin, hashtag Crypto Judas. Ethereum Joseph, that's Joseph Lubin, hashtag Crooked Elbow Joe. And then this guy is Vitalik's dad, and he calls him hashtag Crypto Leech. Then we've got, I'm checking my time here. Then we've got this. I was talking about that when I was growing up, how the media used to do investigative journalism. Now they are told to stand down and they just look the other way. And I included a lot of them that are doing just that. Steven Narioff says, don't worry, they cannot stop the stampede of this story. The media darlings will feel what it's like to be on the other side. Just be patient. Yassine Mubarak, who has been right over the targets in several tweets the last couple of days I've seen, says it feels like the dam is about to break on this story. I happen to agree. And then here, this guy says, where the F have you been the last few years? And Steven Narioff's attorney says, fighting for his life. And then, of course, Mr. Huber, who has been all over all of this for so long and has done such a great job. Just that you understand, this is Vitalik Buterin's father calling Joseph Lubin J.P. Morgan. I had never seen this tweet before. Look at this. That's Vitalik's dad. He says it's centralized, even if only due to the fact that Vitalik, his father, and J.P. Morgan, Joe Lubin, got unlimited pre-mined coins for free. This is what we've been saying for a long time, is the J.P. Morgan ties. And then Vitalik's dad apparently just blocked Steven Narioff. Boy, there's a lot of drama in there. Ironic, as I'm so disinterested in him, I initially tagged wrong account. Don't follow or care Crypto Judas or Crypto Elbow Joe. Sucks making false accusations, and Freedom of Information Act releases show you lied, tarnishes the whole ethical, and we aren't in it for the money Buterin brand. Hashtag crypto leech. Then he says this. I asked him, did Vitalik, because I've always wondered this, did Vitalik go to Ripple to it because he wanted to work for him? The story was all that he couldn't get a work visa or something like that. And I've always wondered if he actually went there or if he went there to find out about Codius. So he says, I said, did he really want to work there, or was he sent? And Steven Narrow says, no idea. He told me he wanted to implement smart contracts on Bitcoin, but the devs didn't want it. I spoke to him about Ripple, but that was because I had met the Ripple folks and used them as an example of how a company should be operated in this space. Ripple has been following me for 10 years here on Twitter, or X, from 2015. So I was at a conference here where Chris Larson was there and somebody else from Ripple was there too. I can't remember. It's fuzzy in my head. They asked one of them about XRP and the other one punted to the other one and said, well, listen, all questions about XRP, please ask. I don't remember if it was Chris punting to him or a other one punting, but the point was that they have one person in the organization, and he's the only person in the organization that that's allowed to discuss it, and that was supposed to be the situation here. Then he tweets this. From the beginning, Ethereum, others distrusted Crooked Elbow Joe. He supposedly worked at Goldman. While not mentioning him in his part of Cami Russo's excellent book, The Infinite Machine, we knew the suspicions others had. Now a lot of Crypto Judas actions make sense. Vitalik happened to be staying and working from Steven's home in Long Island, as he often did when he stopped in New York when these messages were sent. Hey V, did you see what's going on in the chat? Vitalik walked over and didn't answer when he saw the messages, but his face turned red and his usually peaceful eyes lit up with anger. Without saying anything, he got his laptop, stood up, went into another room and started typing. No need for those accusations, he wrote. Ethereum is user agnostic. If banks want to use it, then that's great. Then he says this. Thank you. I was telling him I flooded my timeline with my X timeline with Nancy Wotas, who I think is one of the good people in the whole thing. And just to make him aware so he could look at some of them. Thank you. I'm astonished at how you've come together to fight. An army doesn't even do you justice. I've been in more communities than most and never seen such dedicated yet civil one like XRP. Most are toxic. They have put us all through difficulties these past years. I remind myself not to allow them to get bitter and change who I am. You've done the same, it seems. We win without compromising our ethics, even if the rules are skewed in their favor. That's how I got my case dismissed and kept my integrity. Wasn't easy, but so worth it. When you beat them without stooping to their level, I'm humbled to be part of your community. And I told him, welcome to the party, the Die Hard picture. Then he says, here he says, no coincidences. Business Insider did a profile on me, and they titled it, "With great power comes great responsibility." Articles should be in the next issue. I don't consider myself a hero. Doing the right thing, whatever the cost, should be the standard for being a decent human being. And then here he says, correct. Oof. Now here he goes. I would never harm my. They're talking about. They're doing the whole you know who thing. I would never harm myself. I'll be fine. But hypothetically speaking, if something happened to me, things would go exponentially worse for a lot of people. I made sure of that. I know what I'm up against. Do they? Correct. Dead Man's Switch could send instructions and or documents to whomever you want, such as loved ones, companies, law enforcement agencies, news outlets, independent journalists, lawyers. Turn on a website with documents like crypto law. Just some examples. So he's basically saying that he prepared. And then this guy says, teaming up with John Deaton, this is going to be epic. And I agree, it is going to be epic. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that this is going to be epic and October is going to be nuts. Thanks for listening.